Gradable and non-gradable adjectives. Gradable adjectives are adjectives like calm, hot, or frightened. It can be very cold or a bit cold. Gradable adjectives show that something can have different degrees. The non-gradable adjectives are adjectives like married or wooden because you can be very married or a bit married. Non-gradable adjectives do not have different degrees. Adjectives like terrifying, freezing, amazing are also non-gradable adjectives. They already contain the idea of very in their definitions. For example, freezing means very cold. Gradable and non-gradable adjectives. Gradable adjectives are adjectives like calm, hot, or frightened. It can be very cold or a bit cold. Gradable adjectives show that something can have different degrees. The non-gradable adjectives are adjectives like married or wooden because you can be very married or a bit married. Non-gradable adjectives do not have different degrees. Adjectives like terrifying, freezing, amazing are also non-gradable adjectives. They already contain the idea of very in their definitions. For example, freezing means very cold. Okay, well, the adjectives are usually defined as words that modify the noun. And adjectives are usually used to talk about the following characteristics about these nouns. For example, adjectives are used to talk about our feelings or qualities. For example, he's a lonely man, or they are honest. Adjectives are also used to talk about nationality or origin, like in the following sentences. I heard a French song. This clock is German. Our house is Victorian. They tell us more about things' characteristics. For example, that is a flashy car, or the knife is sharp. They tell us more about age. He's a young man. My coat is old. They also tell us about size and measurement, like in the following sentences. John is a tall man. The film is long. They tell us about color. Paul wore a red shirt. The sunset was crimson. The table is wooden. She wore a cotton dress. They tell us about shape. I sat at a round table. The envelope is square. And also they express a judgment or value. That was a fantastic film. Grammar is complicated. The syntactic functions of grammatical function that distinguish adjectives from other grammatical forms are adjective phrase head, noun phrase modifier, subject complement, and object complement. An objective phrase head is the nucleus of an adjective phrase. An adjective phrase consists of an adjective plus any modifiers or complement. For example, afraid in very afraid to try new food functions as the adjective phrase head. The positive adjective afraid is the nucleus that determines the syntactic category of the phrase. A noun phrase modifier is a word, phrase, or clause that modifies or describes a noun, including a pronoun or a noun phrase. For example, sillier in he said something sillier functions as the noun phrase modifier. The comparative adjective sillier describes the pronoun something. A subject complement is a word, phrase, or clause that follows a copular or linking verb and describes the subject of a clause. The term predicate adjectives is also used for adjective phrases that function as subject complements. For example, pink, in my daughter's favorite color is pink, functions as the subject complement. The positive adjective pink follows the copula is and describes the noun phrase my daughter's favorite color. An object complement is a word phrase or clause that directly follows and modifies the direct object. For example, red in the farmer paint the barn red functions as the object complement. The positive adjective red follows and modifies the noun phrase the barn. Morphology of adjectives. One way to form an adjective is adding an affix to a noun or a verb form to make a modifier. Some types of prefixes that we can use to form adjectives are on, like in unhealthy, inactive, in, impersonal, in, illegible, ill, irresponsible, ear, dishonest, non-essential, non, preschool, pre, antibiotic, awake, abnormal, malinformed, mal, misunderstood, miss. Talking about suffixes, to form adjectives we can find logical, all, bigger, valuable, able, secondary, slowest, full, wonderful, absorb, amazing, and arrogant, agile, arbitrary, accurate, corpulent, and outrageous, careless, less, friendly, creative. The position of adjectives. Most adjectives can occur both before and after the noun. For example, the old man, the man is old. The sea is blue, the blue sea. Adjectives in the third position are called attributive adjectives, and they refer that they are placed before the noun. Those in the second position after the noun are called predicative adjectives. This type of predicative adjectives are followed immediately by a linking verb. In the sentence, grammar makes me happy, grammar is the subject and makes me is the predicate. In predicative position, the adjective can modify the subject or in some cases the object. Let's look again. For example, grammar is fascinating. Here the adjective is modifying the subject, but in grammar makes me happy, the adjective is modifying the object, me. Another example of predicative adjectives are Lee seems drunk. Here the linking verb used is seem. Everything is funny as long as it is happening to someone else. Here the linking verb is. Well, about the form of adjectives, this form is going to depend on the inflection. That is, adjectives change in spelling according to how they are used in a sentence. Adjectives have three forms: positive, comparative, and superlative. The simplest form of the adjective is its positive form. When two objects or persons are being compared, the comparative form of the adjective is used. When three or more things are being compared, we use the adjective's superlative form. Some adjectives like good and bad form the comparative form with different words. They are rather known as irregular adjectives. The comparative forms of most adjectives are formed by adding the er ending for comparative forms and est endings for superlative form, placing the word more and most in front of adjectives that are three syllables or more long or longer. Rules for forming comparatives. One syllable words for the comparatives form, just add er or est. For example, brave, braver, bravest, small, smaller, smallest. Two-syllable words that end in y, ie, and er form the comparative by adding er and est. For example, pretty, prettier, the prettiest, happy, happier, the happiest. Words of more than two syllables form the comparative with more and most. Examples: beautiful, more beautiful, the most beautiful. Resonant, more resonant, the most resonant. Participles used as adjectives form the comparative with more and most. Crook, broken, damaged, defeat. More crook, the most crook. More broken, the most broken. The more damaged, the most damaged. The more defeat, the most defeat. Predicative adjectives are used to describe the subject or a sentence, to form comparative with more and most. Gradable and non-gradable adjectives. Gradable adjectives are adjectives like calm, hot, or frightened. You can be very cold or a bit cold. Gradable adjectives show that something can have different degrees. The non-gradable adjectives are adjectives like married or wooden, because you can be very married or a bit married. Non-gradable adjectives do not have different degrees. Adjectives like terrifying, freezing, amazing are also non-gradable adjectives. They already contain the idea of very in their definitions. For example, freezing means very cold. Okay guys, well, thank you for watching. I hope that you like this video, and if you like, put your thumbs up. I hope that it